broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey everybody, welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV Spotlight On. I am your host, Chloe West, and we have Tanna Frederick, and she is a actress, surfer, marathoner, philanthropist, producer. This woman doesn't sleep. Welcome back.
Thanks, Chloe. I'm so happy to be on the show with my homegirl.
Yay! I'm so happy to have you back. We had her in talking about the M word on our sister network. Popcorn Talk TV, or Popcorn Talk, talking about the M word.
And the M word, menopause, with Corey Feldman.
Yes, and that was so fun. You guys can check that out on Anatomy of a Movie. But today we're here to talk all about you.
Aww.
And
thanks for having me back on the show, by the way.
Yes,
I love the show.
Of course.
I have so much fun when I'm with you.
Yay.
And you just updated me that you have started surfing, which I'm so excited.
So the reason why we were giggling when we were coming in, you guys, is so Tanna is a big surfer, and she has this awesome foundation called Save Our Surf. And last time she was here, I didn't know how to surf, but since then I took a class and I know how to surf.
Did you take a private lesson?
Yes. Well, it was with me and my brother, so it was a private, but my brother was with me.
That's good, because then you don't have the teacher, but somebody was
pushing my board. Yes.
Yeah, yes. Because when you have two people, then they're easier on you. They're like, if you have just like one teacher, sometimes they can be like,
they're spotlighting you.
Paddle up! But then you have your brother there to get yelled at too.
Yeah.
It depends how tough the instructor is.
He was very cool surfer, like older surfer dude, has been surfing for probably like 50 years. We were in Orange County. I don't remember his name.
Okay.
But he was really cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Most surfers are so chill. I mean,
right?
It is just a sexy, chill sport. And I have to say, like, for women and for men, the water does something to men, like Gregory Harrison, who was in the M word, and he's a huge surfer, and he was in North Shore that my friend Randall Kleiser directed, and everybody, he's kind of like a surf legend, because that's like the surfer movie is the North Shore.
Yes.
But he's gorgeous, and he's like still ripped and like a silver fox, and
that's awesome.
I mean, there's so many. It's just healthy.
Yeah.
So you're going out with me next time.
Okay. I'm
going out with
I need
me.
to buy a wetsuit.
No. I have one you can wear.
Okay.
No. We're covered. We're doing
awesome.
it. We're doing it.
So not only working on Save Our Surf, but you recently wrapped Ovation, which that'll be the next movie out, right?
Right. In fact, they're screening it right now at my house for
cool.
Yeah. So they're doing a big screening, and it's the third installment of the Margie Cheesick trilogy.
Yeah, because it's about being backstage in a theater.
Right.
It's a movie about working in theater.
Yes. And it's actually a great concept, because Henry, the first movie we did together was called Hollywood Dreams, and
that's the first one of this trilogy, or no?
Yes, the first one, and that was our very first movie together, and it's about a girl from Iowa who comes out searching for stardom. Then we did Queen of the Lot, and that was with Noah Wiley co-starred in that one as my love interest. Justin Kirk was in the first one, and then in Queen of the Lot, I'm still like climbing the ladder and trying to get a movie deal. And so in this one, I've gotten the movie deals. I've become a celebrity of sorts, and I've gone back to the roots of theater, and so I'm like, it's all about commerce versus art.
That's funny.
And I got to act opposite James Denton from Desperate Housewives, who played the plumber, Terry Hatcher's.
We know. So dreamy.
James Denton, you can fix my pipes any day.
You can fix my
He's a good guy. He's such a talented actor and gives a great performance. I think this is really going to showcase what a leading man he is. He really is like this unbelievable sexy leading man, and again with like a 1940s quality, kind of like Noah Wyle, where
Very
he's
cool.
just I'm a 40s-ophile and obsessed with that. So so that's coming out in October 2015.
Oh wow,
this year.
That's great.
And the whole thing, like you said, I'm totally dominating the conversation.
That's okay.
Sorry.
It's about you. I'm here to ask questions to get you to do this.
Okay.
I just think it's really cool that you're making a film about theater, but you're also very involved in the LA theater scene too. Because weren't you just on stage for a year?
Yes. So we were we were running the Rainmaker to rave reviews.
Yeah, you won the Critics' Choice Award.
Yeah, and it was great. I feel so lucky because once the LA Times. Unfortunately, in this town, if you get the endorsement of the LA Times and like Broadway World, then the show is going to run for a long time.
That's great.
And LA has this great theater scene that people really underrate.
I think it's going to be like Chicago's. I think LA will be like LA's theater scene is like working its way to be like Chicago's theater scene.
I completely agree. Like there's so much. I mean, the Upright Citizen Brigade. We've got.
The improv scene is insane.
It's insane.
Yeah,
of course. But so Henry had this concept of my character now wanting to stick to theater, and James Denton comes in and he offers me this huge TV role, and we filmed it while we were doing Rainmaker, but the whole thing takes place backstage. So you see, come on, most of the drama goes on backstage during theater productions.
That's when you're backstage in any production. You're like, we should be a reality show.
Exactly. So it's like a reality show of the backstage going ons.
Did you film it backstage of the Rainmaker? In that same theater?
Yes, with our costumes and the audiences coming in, and it's an awesome conceit, and it's kind of like like Birdman, you get the.
I was just thinking that's sort of how Birdman was. That was what was kind of cool about that. And who doesn't love? I feel like Hollywood loves movies about the industry.
The industry, of course.
Yeah.
And the reality of I think one of my lines during it is I love the grittiness of theater and showing, because theater is so unglamorous. And I mean film is unglamorous too, but our lives, people think in the rest of the country, oh, your life is so glamorous. I'm like, no. My co-star just ate raw buffalo meat and is farting backstage, and it's not, and I have 6 more months to run with this show. So she's on a paleo diet. I don't know.
Oh my God, that is so funny.
So we get fun moments like that, and you just really get to see the backstage scene, and you never see what's going on stage. You just hear the cue lines coming from
what a cool
the monitor.
concept.
Yeah, so it's an awesome movie. I really like it, so that's going on. And then right now I'm running another play at the Edgemar Center for the Arts called Train to Zakopane, which is actually a true story about Henry Jaglam's dad, who in 1928 met this Polish anti-Semitic nurse. Poland was very anti-Semitic after World War I.
Wow.
And so he got into this train cabin with her, and she said, I can smell a Jew from a kilometer away. And he decided his father decided he wasn't married at this time. He was a young businessman, and they didn't think he was a Jew, and he kept his mouth shut because he wanted to be comfortable in this train compartment because the train was so crowded. And so he's decided, I'm going to kiss the girl, and then I'm going to tell her I'm Jewish. Right? And
so evil, but it's so great.
Right. But at the same time, it's like she's anti-Semitic and he's almost prejudiced too in a certain sense. And so he takes her off at this resort called Zakopane in Poland, and ends up falling in love with her over the course of the weekend. Of course. And so I think it's been, like, I'm getting goosebumps from it, but it's been this amazing piece to be able to do, because there's so much going on and there's so much anti-Semitism that still exists, and I think people process it cerebrally from the news, but they don't have a place to process it emotionally.
Yeah,
so I always say it's like a football game almost. The audience, like,
and that's happened. This play is going on right now.
It's going on right now. We've extended twice.
Oh, wow!
At the Edgemar Center for the Arts, and of course I'm the Polish anti-Semitic nurse, and Mike Falco plays my co-star in it, and is wonderful. And we've gotten, again, like, wonderful rave reviews.
So
thank
awesome.
goodness. And yeah, and so it's really been this contentious piece that leaves people walking out with hope, because at the end of this, I mean, I don't think giving a spoiler alert for this is a bad thing, because it's a true story. So when these two got off at Zakopane, fell in love, had this mad affair for a weekend, and then he told her at the train station, I'm Jewish. And she had this ring from her father that was in the shape of a triangle. And he said, I'm Jewish. I needed to tell you that. She ran off crying, locked her cabin door. He slept outside her door overnight. Aww. And then as he was getting off the train, she ran back to him, gave him this ring that was the only thing that she had left from her father, kissed him, and passionately, and he never saw her again, and the ring was destroyed in the Blitz.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, and so it's just it's a cool story about love overcoming hate, and the sort of the roots of where hate comes from. Because I believe hate comes from love, and from loving something so much and then being hurt so badly that you have this.
Yeah,
my character's backstory is really well developed through Henry's writing, and you can see both sides of the story from the characters.
Goodness.
Yeah, so
wow, that sounds great. So anyone in the LA area, you guys can go check out. That sounds
Train to Zakopane at the Edgemar Center for the Arts. I think it's edgemarcenter.org.
Very cool.
Yeah,
that sounds very intense and something that you have to bring tissues to.
Oh, it's a tissue box.
Yeah, not only is it a love story, but it has, like, deep meanings, and it's historical, which I feel like always really pulls the heartstrings. And
yes.
Whew, that is intense. Do you prefer doing film over theater with things like this, or you can't choose between the two?
Right. To be honest with you, right now, I am so drained from doing this part and, like, dredging up, like, the hatred, playing the hatred, and finding the deep love for my father. That's my backstory. And then it has exhausted me. I had no idea how growing up in Iowa, how prejudiced I was against prejudice. Oh. So to discover and say these lines was making me physically ill during the rehearsal process, and it's still, like, I have Tums backstage. I have Nazine. I know it's crazy. I'm like, Train to Zakopane, brought to you by Tums, because it's
like, I can't make it through.
Affected me really physically.
Wow.
Yeah, the just saying some of the lines and using hatred, like, toward a race. Trying to find that within myself is really funny, because during one of the shows, I'm talking about my hatred for the Jews and how my character's backstory, how my father had a bad business deal with a Jewish man, and that's why he killed himself and my character's father. And I literally went backstage after and like just projectile vomited into the toilet.
Oh my gosh.
Luckily my crew or my cast was like, here's a toothbrush, here's some toothpaste.
Oh wow. And they were ready to go.
They were totally awesome. And they were just like, and I went back on stage, and poor Mike Falco, I didn't tell him that I had thrown up.
He didn't just kiss you then, did he? Oh no.
Yeah, like a billion kisses throughout the whole thing. So I was like, I mean, we got to keep it light backstage because the material's so heavy. So
yeah.
I was like,
I bet the whole crew was just sitting backstage laughing.
They were like, yeah. And I was like, I didn't tell him until after the show. I had one of the crew members tell him, by the way, Tanna puked before she came out and you had your love scene. I'm evil.
I brushed my teeth, okay?
I brushed.
It's fine. I want to get a little bit away from the play for a sec because you mentioned you're from Iowa, and I think this is something that's really cool about you is that you co-founded the Iowa Independent Film Festival as well as Cornlight, which I love
Cornlight.
that. Project Cornlight. I love that name. And
thanks for liking the name.
Yeah, it's super cute. And you're through Project Cornlight, you're producing. This was the first film you've ever produced, and it's called Garner, Iowa.
Garner, Iowa, which is coming out also in probably November 2015.
Oh wow!
Yeah, we're
Two
submitting.
films coming out in the fall.
Yeah, it's great. It's been it's about a bipolar mother who gets let out of jail and has to go reconcile with her grandfather. She tries to help her grandfather, played by Tom Bauer, who is from Die Hard and tons of films. You'd recognize him he's an amazing, brilliant actor. So him, and he used to spend his summers in Iowa. And other than that, I used Joel West, who came out here with Ashton Kutcher and was one of the Calvin Klein models who was discovered in Iowa. So he plays my husband, which was love having male co-stars who are just so hard on the eyes, so hard on the eyes. But it really is a beautiful film, and we screened it in Iowa. We did a pre-screening for 400 people, and
did Iowans? Is that what you call people?
Iowans.
Iowans.
Correct. They went
like
crazy over it,
really?
And they were all so supportive, and it was like nothing but love in making this film. And I hired, besides that, I hired all local talent, all local crew.
So is that what Project Cornlight is sort of about, is just getting film in Iowa to grow and work, obviously, like getting filmmakers in Iowa jobs and things like that?
Yes, and to say, hey, look, there's so many stories about Iowa that people don't know about because they're like, yeah, I drove through Iowa once. But everybody has really neat stories there. And this story, the man who wrote it was from Iowa. And
he co-founded the film festival
with me. Yeah.
That's so cool.
And
so which came first, the Independent Film Festival or
the festival?
Cornlight?
And then Project Cornlight grew out of that, and now we have like this great group of kids. I donated some cameras to this wonderful theater that I grew up in and was my inspiration. So we have all these great kids who are making films and putting them in YouTube. And if I would have had this equipment when I was their age, I would have gone just
that was sort
crazy.
of Maria Menounos' idea with this whole network, is like she didn't have these opportunities when she was coming up as a host. And so that's what she wanted to give back. And so that's so awesome that that's what you're doing for kids in Iowa.
I have so much. I give her so many props for that, because I read about that, and I think that is so neat of her to help others.
Yeah,
it's like pass it forward.
We like it too.
I mean, what a cool. She's such a cool woman. I look up to her so much.
Yeah,
so,
it's very neat, and I just think that's really cool. will Garner, Iowa be in the Iowa Independent Film Festival?
It will eventually. First, we're trying to get it into a big festival, a buyer's market festival.
Is that cheating if your own film is in your film festival?
Actually, it might be. You're right.
Wow.
Maybe there's...
Maybe it could just be like a special screening.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not allowed to be awarded.
It won't... I won't... You're right. Because of you, I will make sure that it is not in the running for, but just, and we've already shown a rough cut, but it's made a lot of changes since then. But the cool thing was, you know, the stigma against mental illness and across the country is very harsh. It's very difficult to get all the funding that we're raising from the movie, or a lot of it is going to go toward the National Alliance for the Mentally Ill.
Oh wow,
and
that's
there were
awesome.
all these women in the Midwest and men who came up to me after the film and said, hey, my daughter's bipolar, or I'm bipolar. I got all these stories. And, you know, to be a single mother who's bipolar and already is struggling to make a living, and then healthcare does not provide adequate funding for
mental illnesses.
Yes, for not only for the therapy, but for the medicine, and then to have society say, "Oh, you're not,"
right, to throw you to the side a little bit.
Yeah, and say you're not fit to be a mother. You know, it's a really important topic, and it's a really important topic to address. So I hope a lot of women and men get empowered, and feel less alone by this film.
That's great.
And yeah, because my daughter's 13 in the movie, and she
oof, what a tough age for a single mom in general, let alone a bipolar mother, single mother
who's gotten treatment, and she's been in jail, and yeah, so it's a really powerful story. I'm really
Very
proud of it,
cool.
and I really love.
Was it hard producing and starring?
It was actually easier.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was easier because
I know Reese Witherspoon talked about that with Wild, because she produced and starred in it as well, and she said for her it was extremely hard. But you actually, you think it's easier.
Yeah, I'm a control freak, so.
So you're like, yes, haha.
I'm like, I would rather run everything, and for some reason my brain works better if I know everything that's going on.
You can see the full picture of it all.
Yes, and
okay,
it adds to it. Yeah, I'm sure you do. Us type AAAs.
Yes. Oh, I love
stick
that.
Together. Yeah.
I love that. Type AAA.
We are AAAs, man.
And I'm a Virgo too, so it's like,
oh yeah,
it's nails in there. You're digging in.
Must control everything always.
What are you talking about? I'm totally goofy. That's funny that you're a surfer too, because then it's like you need that balance of like not being able to control anything.
Surfing is because I am such a yoga hater, and I am. It works for so many people. I like yoga.
I'm a Pilates hater, though.
Oh, you are? Yeah. I haven't tried Pilates. I need to try that. But yoga, I'm like, and I know this means I should overcome something. Like the first 10 minutes of yoga, I'll be bored and annoyed, and then I'll start to like cry, and then I'll start to get horny.
Oh, it's your hip openers.
Right?
It must be when you're doing hip openers, because sometimes I giggle or I cry during hip opener, and I don't know which one is coming that day.
Right.
So, yes, I understand. It's the hip openers, and I think it's because, well, you know what? It's because you're a marathoner, too, and so your hips are probably really tight.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I am so not flexible. I am so not, yeah, that's probably why, right? So I'm like, oh, okay, and then the yoga teachers are like, well, that means that, you know, this is really helpful for you.
I want you to play a yoga teacher now.
Your sexual.
I hope Henry's watching, and I hope the next thing he writes for you is a yoga teacher.
To me, that would be just like
just so mean.
hell research.
But like really good, like a really good character. So you really want to do it, but she happens to be a yogi.
Oh my God.
Yep.
I hope Henry never sees this because I would go nuts. I can't stand sitting still. But that's the cool thing about surfing to me is that you have to relinquish your control of the ocean or basically you're going to drown or get your face smashed in by the board. Like I've already broke my nose, I broke my nose surfing. And
I read this thing that I think it was in another interview that you did, and I loved it so much, and it talked about how I think you quoted Katharine Hepburn, or I think it was Katharine Hepburn in something, and I think everyone can relate to this, but mostly women for sure, is that, we look in a mirror and we don't like a ton of things about ourselves.
Yes.
And you used to say that you would look in a mirror and all you would see was your nose and how much you didn't like it. And then you've broken it 3 times, and now it's like your favorite thing.
yes.
I love that. And you said it's because it's stories, that it's like things that have happened to you.
It's life. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. And the wrinkles as I'm getting older and the smile lines and the lip lines. It's like, these are this
maps,
is my
kind of,
life.
right?
Yeah, the maps of my life. And I really hated my nose and almost got a nose job in college, of all places. And my friend who was Italian and had a great nose, she's like, "Are you crazy? Like, why are you doing that?" And I would literally stand in front of a 3-way mirror and do this because I could not stand looking at my profile. Oh. And so now I'm just like, yee, this is what it is. This is it. This is my calling card.
I love it.
Jimmy Durante got it down. But yeah, Katharine Hepburn, that quote so inspired me because she said, take the thing you hate most about yourself and make it your most valued and something like
I think it was like
stand out. Make it the most standout,
or make it the thing you love about yourself the most, something like that. It was so pretty and
bring the most attention to. And so,
what do you think hers was?
I'm trying to think. I think
Probably her voice, maybe, because her voice was so great.
Her voice was great.
But I could see growing up, you would feel like you sound like a man. But then, as we watch it, we're like, oh, it's so great.
And she also, had the whole box office poison thing for a while. And the studios used to call her, which I think she's absolutely gorgeous, but they called her the boa constrictor because of her cheekbones. And so she had things about herself that she didn't like. I think it might have been, maybe it was her cheekbones because she was
Which
so
is crazy because
chiseled.
I'm like, oh, I wish I had those.
I know, all of us are like, whoa. It's just, she had like the sharpest, most beautiful cheekbones, and she was such a gorgeous woman. So,
yeah, maybe it was that. Huh. I love that. Now I want to talk about Project Save Our Surf because this is really cool. So not only did you co-found the project Cornlight and the Iowa Independent Film Festival,
right.
You've also founded Project Save Our Surf, which is really cool, and it's dedicated to water conservation. But you also do camps for kids.
Yeah, we've really branched out. In the last 2 years, we've sent 6,000 underprivileged kids to camp.
And is the camp to learn how to surf, or to just about water conservation in general, or what?
We actually have a couple different camps.
Oh,
we have
wow.
one that's in the Silverado Mountains, and there's 250 protected acres of just wildlife preserved land, and so the kids go up there, and these are kids who are inland, like California inland, whose schools can't afford to send them on field trips. So we bus them out there, and we have day programs for them. We have week-long programs for them. We have after-school programs for them. And they go out there, and they get to interact with nature. They have the coolest teachers and camp counselors who are so fun. And these kids just respond to it like they're 4th and 5th graders, you know.
Awesome.
And these are the kids who, I really believe as I get older, these are the kids who the planet is in their hands.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And as a kid growing up in Iowa, it's like, oh yeah, I used to go, my weekends, because we didn't live near a big city, would be camping or going hiking or going to the nature center. But these kids don't even have exposure to that natural preserved wildlife, and it's so amazing to go and see. I love to go. I go to a lot of the camps with them when I can, and they'll be like, are we still in America? They'll look around and they're so excited, and they see, like, they'll hold a stink bug and they'll be like, is this thing mechanical? Like, because all they've seen, their only reference is TV, is like A Bug's Life. And
that's like when people travel Europe and they're like, this looks like Disneyland. You're like, no, Disneyland looks like Europe. So yeah, they're like, oh, this is A Bug's Life. And you're like, no, A Bug's Life looks like nature.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, it's really neat. And we also, so I'm running the LA Marathon. And I'm doing that for, not only do we do our camp kids projects, but, and it's going to be my 4th marathon, which I'm
not sure
about.
When you sleep.
I don't know what I do either. I need to take some more days off, I think.
Well, the LA Marathon's soon, so have you already run your 20 miles or whatever they say? Yes,
tomorrow I have 22.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then I get a taper off.
Nice.
Yeah, and so...
I know you're running that for Save Our Surf?
Yes.
Oh, so cool.
We're going to Vietnam in July.
I've been to Vietnam, and it's incredible.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We'll talk more about it after.
I would love to hear about it. Yes.
Awesome.
And my best friend's living in Malaysia right now, and so I'm going to visit her, and then we're going to the Ben Tre district, where there's a whole bunch of kids in these, it's called SOS villages, and they're trying to teach them, you know, how to work, how to survive in society, because there's orphans, and they're all getting their water from this source, this contaminated river, which they bathe in, they go to the restroom in, they do their dishes in. So it's like they can't get the education that they need if they're constantly getting sick. Mm-hmm. So we've already taken 50 filters there. We've had a team go, and I unfortunately was on, stage, so I couldn't go, but I'm going to go with my dad, who's a Vietnam vet.
Wow.
Yeah, and install so we're trying to get 2,000 more kids water. And
so that's why you're running the marathon.
Yes, so you can go check that out at projectsaveoursurf.org. And it's even $10 gets. I mean, water filters themselves are only $50, and they provide 100 children with water for a year, with clean water for a year.
Wow!
So it's not that much money when you look at it.
Child's life.
Yes, and water is becoming one of our more scarce resources in third world countries.
I mean, Bill Gates is trying to make water out of feces. That's like his next big project.
I didn't even know that.
That's his next big thing.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I'm sure that's very expensive, but Bill Gates, has the money to figure it out.
Well, God bless people like him for doing something like that.
It's pretty crazy, but yeah, that's
really,
awesome.
It is a scarce resource, and
so when can people can donate to your marathon run up until when is the marathon?
It's well, they can donate after too.
That's good to know.
We'll take donations all year round.
Yeah.
Because we just want to keep sending kids to camp, and we do surf camps as well. Are
you saying I need to come to the surf camp?
I think you should go and spot a child.
Yeah, I totally would.
You stand in the water. We have different schools that come out. We work with Tobin World, which is for autistic kids.
Oh, awesome.
We had a Christmas party with them. We gave 700 kids Christmas presents. It was awesome, and they sang these Christmas carols to us, and it was like But they're
like, what's wrong with these people? Why are they crying? They're like, they're supposed to be happy.
We didn't. We were smiling, and we brought a Santa, and we got
awesome.
gifts. Yeah, we got really cool gifts from like Body Glove and so many people, Santa, and a lot of donations. So we wrapped like 700 gifts, and
so cool.
Yeah, and so you should come out and spot a child.
I will do that.
Each kid needs a spotter, and
to push them when the wave comes. Yes, because
you've experienced.
I've experienced that. I still need one of those when I surf because I'm not good enough to do it yet without that.
But you would be surprised at how much you'll learn from
being a spotter.
Yeah, being a spotter and like holding the kids' board as they go in. You just kind of hold the back of their board and kick and keep it balanced. Cool. And these kids feel so empowered. Like they come in and
I love it.
Yeah, they come in.
Where did you get this like inspiration and energy and everything to start so many of these cool projects to help all these people? And
I think it's just because so many people helped me, and it makes me selfishly, it makes me happy. Like I truly am happiest when I see other people happy and inspired and joyful. And so it's very selfish on my behalf. It is. It really is.
Well, I guess there are worse things that you can be selfish and do, and so that's great. And I mean, I could talk to you for hours more, but with AfterBuzz TV, we love TV here, and so I want to know, what is your guilty pleasure TV show, and what's your favorite TV show?
Guilty pleasure, The Bachelor.
Oh, really guilty pleasure?
Really guilty pleasure because he's from Iowa.
Oh, just this season?
Yes, this season. But I've watched The Bachelor for a long time, so I gotta say, like, this season was especially cool. And I'm actually
Is he repping Iowa well, do you think?
We won't talk about that. We won't talk about that. But he seems like a lovely gent, and I actually went shopping on Montana yesterday with Kelsey, who's become my buddy, who's gotten a lot of bad press about being the crazy one, but she's really cool and down to earth and really smart. So she's a cool chick. My more highfalutin show is Downton Abbey, which I love. It is like, it's almost like seeing on stage and backstage, because it's basically like upstairs, downstairs.
Yeah,
You're seeing the servants, and you're seeing all this life that goes on above and below. And it's, when I moved out here, I was a waitress for, and like the service industry, and it's just, I love the show.
It's so good.
I'm so addicted.
I'm not caught up, so please don't spoil anything.
I'm not going to spoil anything.
I do love it as well. And those costumes, don't you just want to wear them?
I mean, so not fair. Except I do get to wear a 1928 dress that's absolutely fantastic. And yes, cool. Yes, because I'm a poor nurse, and he gifts me, like, I have my Julia Roberts moment where and Mike he's South African, and he actually was a pro surfer who turned actor, and
it's like you're a magnet to actor surfers.
I know.
You're like, you surf? Great.
Hey,
I love it.
Get over here in my corner.
Yeah, I love it.
So yeah, he has this gorgeous accent, South African accent, which works really well in the play because he's supposed to be Russian and the rest of us are Polish, so we speak with English accents and he speaks with his South African accent. So it kind of works itself really well into the play. But I have this wonderful pretty woman moment where he says, I saw this dress and it just screamed you to me, and it's the most gorgeous dress from Paris 1900.
Oh my
and
God.
It's like, yeah, so I do get I get to get the little ring curls and the flapper thing, so that's kind of fun. That is fun. I get a taste of Downton Abbey, but wow, that show is brilliant.
It's awesome. So everyone, you can catch Tanna in LA currently live on stage, and then you can also see her in October with Ovation coming out, and in November with Garner, Iowa. And where can they find you online?
TannaFrederick.com, tannafan.org.
What's your Twitter?
My
It's
Twitter
Tanna
is
F.
at Tanna F, TANNAF.
That's easy.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, guys, and you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Chloe West X. Thank you so much for watching AfterBuzz TV Spotlight On. You can check out AfterBuzz and all the AfterBuzz Spotlight Ons at AfterBuzz TV on YouTube and on Twitter at AfterBuzz TV. Thanks so much, guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.